Welcome back, and now it's time to implement what you learned. And what we're going to do is do a little project on creating a meme generator. So we're going to learn how to write functions in JavaScript because we're going to have to write our own functions. What we're going to do now is actually put what we've learned into a web page. We're going to do a meme generator project. And we're going to learn how to write our own functions in JavaScript, how to use the JavaScript to manipulate data input by a user, and how to use on-input and on-change events to make things happen live on a web page in response to the user's actions. And yes, we're going to learn how to debug the errors, which yes, I had to debug errors to figure out how to get mine to work. So if we look at what we're trying to create, here's a meme generator, and let's think about what are all of the actions going on. So I'm going to have to take the meme text, so let's say, and then that is an interaction where something is happening in response to entering text. I'm going to have to select a picture, which means I'm going to have to go and have them choose the file, and once they choose the file, I can add the words, and now the picture is here. So let's get started and looking how we do that. I have a tutorial here that you can watch where they step you through it. And let's just start a little bit. We just talked about what we're going to learn. What you're going to need, well, you can just use your website and you can create a new HTML page. So when you're in your website and you create a new HTML page, you still want to have the link to your style sheet and the link to your JavaScript code. I'm going to explain a little bit more about the JavaScript file. So you do not want to put your image header in at this time. Right now, we just want to have a web page without any other images. Then in your web page, you're going to start putting the content from the tutorial. You're going to have a style sheet, and you're going to put the styles in the style.css you have. And the web page finds those styles by using this information. Next, you're going to put your JavaScript code in. So in your script.js, you're going to put your meme code. And I use comments to help me find and know what it is. I have a lot of JavaScript I'm using. So where is my meme code? Here I put a comment, script for meme generator. I update the image on the screen, and I have some comments, what it's returning, what's going on. So here's where I'm going to put my JavaScript code. The tutorial will take you through when to add the different code. So once you create your page, we have to create a form. So a form is a way that you can interact with the user on a web page to get input from them. So you're going to add this information to your web page, and then you're going to see that it adds this text box. Then we need to create code for another input form. We want, and if you need a hint, we want input, and this will take you through, well, how do I write a form to select a picture? Well, I'm going to need an input tag. I'm going to fill in the information. Well, what information am I going to put in here? Well, the input type is going to be a file instead of text. And then I need an ID to be able to access this. Now you're going to start building where the meme is going to go. So if I look at my example, what we've just looked at is, well, how do we make this input box? How do we make this selection to be able to choose a file? And now how do I make this part so that the image will be uploaded? So I'm going to use a division tag to divide a section of my page. So now I'm going to have the place to input, to select the picture, and a place to put the picture and the text. So now I have this divided to have this part down here. It has an ID, so I can use that in my JavaScript later. It has an image source, but there's nothing there yet. Next, I'm going to have to do some styling. So to style this, I want this to be styled differently than other division tags. So I'm going to use an ID to style this. So down here, how do I access that ID? I need to use pound meme text, and it's going to make this style for that div tag. So now I'm going to have this showing up. Next, we want to display the text. So now we're going to have to write some JavaScript. We're going to have to write a function to do the action. I'm going to need a variable, and in this variable to point to the text box. So I need to get the element by ID, user text box, because that's the ID that I need to put this information. Then we're going to go, we want to set the meme text to contain the same text that the user has typed in. So that's how we're going to find by doing the meme text.inner.html, and it's going to use that text value. So now my meme text is going to be able to be used. So save and refresh your page. And then finally, we want to display the image. So we have to create a function. And here's a new method where we're querying for all images. That's why for right now, you don't want to have other images on. We can look at changing this code later so you can have more than one image on the page. Here it's going to query and it's going to look for all image tags. It's going to take the first image tag it has, and now we're going to be able to get that input file. That's going to be the file that we want to set the window to, so that it's going to now take that file and put it in our window. Again, think about how we did that for update text. This will take you through how we're going to do it to update the file image. And then finally, you should have this working. Well, I'm going to tell you, I didn't have it working. I had to do some debugging. So I will go into more detail on how do you debug when things are not working. And here you can see, you can go to look at the finished code to check it with your code.